Welcome to Laguna Seca in the GT3 Aston Martin. Now this race is kind of different. I discovered a useful tactic to win this race overall. But we're going to go down that further down the line. As we're coming up to our first corner, it is quite a full lobby, which does mean things become quite a lot more interesting. As we're heading into our first corner, cars everywhere getting round about, taking out the Aston Martin, getting slammed from behind, and everything and everyone is everywhere. Luckily enough, we come out that corner in position 8, so we've come out quite unscathed, although our pride and our paintwork is slightly damaged. Coming around this corner out the other side, we do see Johnny 6654 being pushed off track, just missing them on the right hand side, and VI Quaz has a 2.25 second penalty from that. JD2 Karma comes up in front. I let them through. I do think that Acura is a little bit quicker than the Aston. I am running full downforce front and rear, so I can be quicker through the corners compared to everybody else. Not too sure what that contact was about. Not everybody might know about the radar yet, so you know, it may not also come up. I did notice a bug with that actually, where the radar didn't come up all the time. Coming up behind Lord Dominic, 105 up in front in the Lamborghini. That Lamborghini is a very quick and straight line. Bentley slopping around everywhere. Contact is made from the two cars up in front, and I'm trying to look for my way through. Braking down at 200 meter board, second gear, turning in, and yeah, I've become part of a sandwich. That is my own mistake there. I should not have gone in and become a sandwich. It is the worst position to be in. Car coming up the inside of me here, car to my right, and I just really struggling on where to go, looking out for the cones on the right hand side, breaking down a second gear and absolutely getting railed again. So first corner, second time. Going around this corner now, Davies in the silver-ish Aston Martin goes through, and then we're going to tuck in behind. Again, everybody else is on probably medium tyres or hard tyres, and I'm trying to keep up with everybody on hard tyres where they could be on mediums, and it's a sort of clever but a silly tactic at the same time as the Bentley goes off track and I assist them a little bit further at the detriment of a good run up this hill. We're looking out for the 200 meter board on the right side, dab of the brakes down to about 85 miles per hour, 90 miles an hour, clipping the curb on the left hand side and up the hill we go. So yeah, as I was saying, being on the hard tyres whilst being behind people trying to keep up with them can cause situations where you go off track because you're pushing the car beyond its capabilities, but other times it can also push you beyond your own capabilities and find out things of the car you never knew about. As I go off track, I never knew this car was really good off-road, and it goes to show. I came back on track, lost a few attempts, but looking out for a 200 meter board, braking down a second gear and turning in. Big Bentley up behind me. I don't want to be anywhere near that thing. It is a big old bus. So I'm going to try and get out of this corner. I'm not going to be the fastest in the straight line due to the excess downforce I've added to the car. So looking out for the cones on the right side, just as about you get to the second cone in, braking down a second gear, turning in. I'd like to take this corner quite tight, rub the curbs on the inside and accelerate out the corner. Coming up to the left, dab of the brakes, coming over the curb on the right, try and get as close to that sausage as you can, but do not go over it. Keeping on your left, letting off the throttle here. Go again, as soon as you hit the sausage on your right hand side, accelerate out the corner and down this straight. Keeping over to your right hand side, looking out for a 200 meter marker, braking down the third gear and about 75 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour through this corner here, and up the hill we go. You see a little bit of tail out happiness there. Car is a little bit sketchy at times, but in reality it is quite planted and it is a great drive. Coming up the hill, we are gaining back a bit of time that we've lost from the cars up in front, so I can't really grumble at that, as like I say, I'm at the disadvantage of being on hard tyres. But we're going to see if we can really start pushing in and getting through now. Still getting stuck behind a bit of Lord Dominic here, trying to look my way through, but that Lamborghini is faster, so I've got in my mind now actually, you know what's the best idea? To stay behind them, have them drag me down the start finish line, and hopefully claw back a bit of time. Had a very poor exit as a little bit of contact was made, and thus look how quick that thing is. It's absolutely leaving me standing. Oh blimey, 0.8 seconds away already, braking just after the second cone, down the second gear and turning in. See, the Lamborghini went a little bit wide and then got back on track, and just see the way it goes. It's unreal. Braking down to third gear here, clipping the curb on the right hand side, accelerating out the corner, keeping to your left hand side, dab of the brakes here, letting off. See the Aston Martin, the silvery one, off track. So luckily enough, when it came back on, didn't get clouted, because it did really come over. I think this is a lot of things. When you go off track and come back on, you have zero grip when you come back on, so sometimes it's not intentional that they go in the way. Sometimes it's just the way you're just sliding back on. Up the hill we go. We're going to get to the brow of this hill and be hard on the brakes and braking down to second gear. Turning in through the corkscrew and going to be accelerating out the other side. You see that Aston Martin has really caught up to us now. I do believe they're on medium tyres, so they're going to be a lot quicker than us, as Lord Dominic goes quite slow through that corner there and end up being a part of another sandwich. Yep, I don't know what flavour sandwich I am. Flavour sandwich? We have flavours? Or filling? I'm an Aston Martin fill sandwich. There we go, sliding out through that corner there and heading over the start of lap 5. Whilst we have a bit of breathing space here, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which is Andy Good, Jeffrey Anderson, DMC Motorsport, Sigmatic and Camille Coleno. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, and if you're enjoying what you're watching here right now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Massively helps out the channel. Back to the race. We made a move on the Lamborghini on the right hand side, taking that position. Aston Martin in front goes off again a little bit, and quite a bit, taking out a lot of the furniture, so nothing like playing a little bit of dodgems, I guess. Coming up here, looking out for a 200 meter board, braking down the third gear, about 75 miles per hour through here and accelerating up the hill. Keeping on our right hand side, see the Lamborghini rearview mirror also went off track. It is quite chaotic, this race. It did seem very chaotic is the best way to call it, really. There was a lot of bodily contact and there was a lot of going off track. Now, you see the Aston Martin was pushing the Lamborghini through that corner now. Lamborghini is not all that impressed with the situation, and Aston Martin goes off track. I think the Aston Martin, the silver one, was quite frustrated throughout the race, is the best way of putting it. There seems to be a lot of contact with that Aston Martin, as the Lamborghini makes the situation well known. You don't go around ramming people or pushing them or things like that. Yeah, out of the two Lamborghinis to my left hand side, I'm going to go over to the right. The Lamborghini's up behind me. I get pushed forward, almost missed my braking marker, and then through the corner we go. A Lamborghini on the inside, and I go off track, trying to give them a bit of space. I don't want to get involved in all that kind of stuff, so it's better to give space than it is to be in the gravel. Yeah. Anyway, over here we go, hitting the sausage and accelerating out the corner. Coming towards the end of this lap, we are still behind Lord Dominic up in front. We'll go up the inside here, and as we're going through this corner now, you can start seeing people dive off into the pits. Again, we are on the hard tyre, so we don't need to do that just yet. As coming around this corner and turning in, Lamborghini is also staying out, and I do believe the white Lamborghini is also staying out of the pits as well. But as we are passing the pits, this is where a bit more information of what my tactic I am doing might be useful. I am not pitting right now, and I'm going to do my best to see if I can get away with not pitting at all. Because my tyres are in a pretty reasonable shape as we're coming around here. We did have contact here and there, a bit of wheel spin here and there, which is going to affect how long my tyres have lasted. Again, they are not too bad. And usually when you're on this kind of race, you either go hard to soft tyres or medium to medium tyres. But my idea is, because they've changed the way the pit exit is at Laguna, pitting now takes forever at this track. So if I plan this out right, I might be able to get away with not pitting, sacrificing my last 2 laps time wise, because I will evidently be slower, but will my slowness give them the opportunity to catch up and overtake? That is the big question. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Do you think I'll be able to make this race a no-stop race? Or do you think that my last lap is going to be so dreadful that everybody else is going to just pass me like I was standing still facing the wrong way? Coming down here now, you see a few more people are in the pits. That means I'm going to take position 1. Go me, in first place, 40% tyre wear in the front. A few laps to go yet. 40% tyre wear, minor wear comes on at about 50%. I think moderate is about 60%-ish. If you know the exact numbers, let me know down in the comments below. But I think we might be able to get this to work ever so slightly. So, fingers and everything crossed, I guess. Everything. Because we're going to need a miracle here. Why do I come up with these ideas? I do not know. Coming down here, we have the freedom of peace and quiet. We have Xavier, that is, or Javier, however you pronounce your name. 4 seconds away with a 1.2 second penalty. Position 3 is 20 seconds away. So the person behind is going to have to pit. As you can see, they're not pitted yet. The person in position 3 is going to have to pit because they've not pitted yet. They have a 5-second penalty. Position 4, the Quaz, that was in first place earlier, is 20 seconds behind with a 6.4 second penalty. That person has been organising and collecting those penalties. Yeah. Anyway, you know, that's a further away problem. As I am now 7.5 seconds ahead of a position 2 right now. We have just come up with minor tyre wear on the rear, and we have 2 more laps to go. Just like to put that out there, Javier is in the pits right now. Everybody else has pitted. I have a 20-second lead right now, as position 3 is 20 seconds away until they pass position 2 in the pits. Yeah, there we go. So they're now going to be closing me in. As my rear tyres are worn, they're either going to be on soft tyres or medium tyres, which means I've got to keep consistent and also keep the speed up well enough that I don't go off track, but I keep them at bay. Lap 10 is, yeah, my rear tyres are now moderate wear. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit sketchy. We have lost 2 seconds to position 2 behind. But I cannot grumble. 2 seconds a lap. I still got a wow yet. It's the way I see it. You know, it's absolutely brilliant. Breaking down here, you can see I have lost a lot of speed. Tail is coming out quite a bit as I'm going through these corners, so it is a little bit sketchy. Someone's took out a 200 board marker, so there's my braking reference gone. Another thing to note though is position 2 also has that 6.4 second penalty, so if something was to go wrong, I do have that barrier to an extent, providing I get back in between position 2 and position 3. So yeah, it's going to be a very interesting final lap as we come out of here, come over to the left hand side, braking early, braking steadily, back end's coming round and I lose it. No. Oh, at least we didn't go too bad. Coming off the track and came back on. There goes a few seconds right there. You see I'm well off pace. Rear tyres at 66% wear. Oh dear me. Braking here, coming around at what, 66 miles per hour? That's 10 miles per hour slower than what I usually do. I mean, at least 10 miles an hour slower. And you see position 2 is now 12.7 seconds away right now. I'm going to come up this hill, see the blimp up in front. And yeah, we're going to have to really hold on to everything we can right now. Braking down the second gear, you can see I'm only feathering the brakes because the front tyres are now on moderate wear. The last thing I need is locking up any slippage, understeer or anything. I am really feathering this thing. Coming off the track again. Please don't get a penalty. Please don't get a penalty. Please don't get a penalty. Didn't get a penalty. Coming around here, we can do it. 9 seconds away. Come on, we can do it. Break it out before the 200 meter ball. Someone's put the marker back out for us. Thank you very much. Coming out, accelerating, just spinning up second gear. Come on, straight towards the end. Crossing that line. Position 1. Yes, it can be done. You can do Laguna Seca. No stop. Brave, but thank you to that new pit exit and how long it takes. It was an idea that works. Absolutely genius. If you like that idea, don't forget to hit that like button. And because I'm a sucker for punishment and you all know that, I head back to Laguna Seca again to do all again to see if it is actually possible. I wasn't just lucky at that, and it wasn't just like a glitch somewhere or something like that, because, you know, there's no harm in checking it all again, except for this time it's night time and things weren't as bad as they were in the last race. As you see, all the tic tacs coming together as if you dropped them on the floor. Yeah, it is first corner madness as you're coming through here. You can see I am on the hard tyres, 11 laps of fuel, 11 lap race. So we are going to have to make this work. A couple of cars are going off track, a lot of smoke up in front. The Ferrari is very, they must be handbrake turning it, I don't know. And they're saying sorry, I don't know if there was a contact between the car in front or they contacted me. It was so chaotic, I failed to see what really happened, to be fair. But we are going to see if the hard tyre strategy can do it twice, because why not, really. Coming to the top of the hill, you can see the two cars up in front aren't leaving me standing. They will have a better performance than I do. The Ferrari's definitely a better performer, because that thing is an absolute animal in a straight line. I just don't think it corners all that well. But when we go over towards the start and finish line, it's going to have that hell of a run up. Same with the Mercedes up in front, but I do think the Mercedes also drives quite well, but maybe a little nose heavy. I'm not too sure, I haven't driven it in a long time. So, we have a Mercedes behind us as well, driving dummy 687, which is 0.6 seconds away, so they are going to be in my toe, are going to be reeling me in, and P6 is leaving me standing. I do think there's maybe contact up in front. You see the two cars behind me really missed their breaking point and almost took me out of there, but we survived. Look at that. Second lap, first corner, and we survived that one. That's what I'm trying to get to. Yeah. Coming around here, clipping the curb on the right hand side, accelerating out of the corner. We are making ground up on the cars in front, whilst the cars behind are also making ground up upon me. Skipping ahead to the end of lap 6 for the start of lap 7, you can see Coffee Manor is 13.5 seconds ahead whilst also pitting. That is quite the lead they have. A few other cars are going to the pits right now, while the yellow Ferrari behind chooses not to and also chooses to go off track. Yeah, either they totally missed their breaking point, really missed that the tyres are dead, or yeah, we'll try taking me out. Who knows? I don't think they tried doing the latter, but you never know with Forza. Coming around here, we do see Great Shadow is 10.9 seconds ahead of me right now. It is quite the lead, and I'm certainly not going to be able to bring it back within the next few laps, unless they go off, of course. But we are in position to and making ground on the people that are in the pits, and that's the part that matters. Unless Grey Shadow chooses not to pit as well. Hopefully they don't know the little secret here. But we're coming around this corner now and up the hill, catching up to Grey Shadow in front. Mixer in position 4 has a 2.25 second penalty. Panther 3 Star has a 4.3 second, or 4.3 seconds away from me right now. We do see the only people that's on the leaderboard right now are the people that's chosen not to pit. So that can only be a good sign, really. We are catching up to a ghosted car, that's Esteban. Esteban had a little bit of a rough start. They changed their gearing ratio to such an extent, they only have 1, 2 and 3. So they were going around the track with just 3 gears, because they were so tall, they couldn't get any higher than the gear ratio. So he was feathering it around, and it did have a bit of carnage going on as well. Start of lap 9, we do see Grey Shadow is in the pits. Can only be brilliant news, as my tyres are now 46% worn on the front. So we're only 4% away from having minor wear. We have 3 laps to go. We've got lap 9, lap 10, lap 11. Now, got to try my best to make sure that these tyres last 3 laps. So I'm going to take my time and try and not spin these wheels when I come in out of the corner or entering the corner. You see, we're getting really big lead ahead of position 2 right now. They are in the pits, bearing in mind, so there's going to be someone overtaken in a moment to give us a rough guesstimate of the time they are away from us. We're at 24 seconds at this precise moment. There we go, 25.6 seconds away from us right now. they are going to be clawing us in, but I don't think they're going to be clawing us in, you know, about what, that 8 seconds a lap worth, you know. That is what I've got to bear in mind, unless I absolutely go off the track and fluff it all up, or my tyres, which are just coming up minor wear, all 4 of them, there we are, all 4 are minor wear. So unless they drop off a cliff at this precise moment, I think we've got this one in the bag. I cannot believe it. Managed to do it. And it really goes to show how that pit exit, because it takes so much longer now to come out the pits, because you've got to follow the track right around. That time you've lost pitting can really affect the overall end result of the race. Heading over to the start of lap 11, you can see the rear tyres are about to click onto moderate wear, sorry. We are still almost 20 seconds away from Coffee Manash, that is behind, and Grey Shadow behind them. 20 seconds, absolutely incredible. I do wonder really how long it takes from the entrance of the pit to the exit of the pit. I know Yas Marina, we've timed it, which was about 59 seconds long. Laguna cannot be that far behind. It is a really, really long pit. So yeah, I'm only 8 attempts down my best lap up to now. What? Oh gosh. And I did tyre save better this time around than I did at the previous race. As you can clearly see, I'm not flopping around like a silly little fish. Also, I do think there is other ways you can tyre save and improve the overall end of the race, but that may come to the detriment of the cars obviously being closer behind you. It really does matter on your lap times and your race position before you choose to do the strategy. You've really got to be at least at the top end of the pack before you try this out, because if you're at the end of the pack and the leader has a 30-second lead on you right now, they're going to come out the pits and they're just going to swallow you up really. So it is a mindful of a case-by-case scenario. But we did win the race. Look at that, 14.8 seconds ahead of position 2. Absolutely smashing. Don't go just yet, because we're going to have a look at the accident cam and see the accidents that occurred during the last 2 races. Right now, let's have a look at what really caused the first corner pileup. Coming down here, you see the Ferrari to the left-hand side getting absolutely sandwiched, taking the Bentley out. Coming down here, and you see everybody is literally just diving in everywhere. That poor Aston Martin's everywhere, just getting absolutely railed. This Ferrari has the worst luck in the world. I've taken out right there, taken out some more, taken out another Ferrari, eventually ghosted to come back onto the track now, keeping to the left hand side, and hopefully live to survive another day, because that was quite a rough start for anybody right there. Next crashing point is as we coming up towards the corkscrew in the Aston Martin. Aston Martin misses the braking zone and heads straight off into the gravel pit. Just a touch of that wall absolutely spins him out. Got to stay away from the tyres, they absolutely eat you, as another Aston has ghosted and gone off track. Let's have a look at how they managed that. As they're coming up the hill here, they're having a bit of a tiff with, I think that's a Bentley to left hand side, missing their braking point straight across the track. Surprisingly enough, didn't go the same way as the other Aston, but absolutely got railed when they came back on the track before an unsafe rejoin. To add insult to injury, the other Aston that went off track goes to the back of this Aston and they go off track. Yeah, there's a lot of Astons in that sentence, and there was a lot of Astons in this race. Maybe a bit too many, but I do think the Aston is quite a strong car as well, which really doesn't help the situation of having diversity of cars. This race wasn't really that chaotic, to be fair. First corner was quite shocking, like it always is, but you can see this Ferrari doesn't too bad, and we're heading into our first corner now. There is a bumps around as people missing their braking points or catching up to the car in front, and it's caught them off guard, but this Ferrari absolutely sends it into the wrong direction with hitting too many of the other cars. This next Ferrari does the total opposite here. Instead of going around the outside and narrowly avoiding contact, they go up the inside and cause some of the contact. So they're breaking in here, hitting the Mercedes, mid to the Ferrari, and everybody is everywhere. More contact to the Ferrari as they get punted in the wrong direction nearly. Managed to hold on to it for dear life and surprisingly made it through the next corner. So yeah, it's not the smartest of moves to go up the inside, to be quite honest. And again, looking at the inside of the Mercedes that was already coming across isn't the move you should or want to make, because yeah, either you're going to ruin someone or you're going to be on the ruined end. Thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.